Breaking news, the Niners not only lost to the Bears on Sunday, they lost Elijah Mitchell for the next couple of months, according to ESPN. Suffered a sprained MCL in that loss in Chicago on rain-soaked Soldier Field. Jeff Wilson would seemingly be the next man up. The Niners returning home Sunday, their home opener, to take on the Seahawks in a divisional battle. All right, let's get Jamey Eisenberg in here. Jamey, we knew that he was going to miss several games. It appears like he might miss the rest of the first half of the season. So what's your advice to fantasy owners who have Elijah Mitchell?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you just are able to hold on to him. I don't think you want to cut him yet because we saw when he battled through injuries last year, he came back and was still the lead guy for San Francisco. And we knew that coming into the season, dealing with that hamstring injury in training camp and the fact that he missed 6 games last year with 5 different injuries, that the 49ers still value him. So we're going to find out, how these backups do. They have 3 guys I think that will lean on from a running back standpoint. We know what Trey Lance and Deebo Samuel will also bring from a rushing standpoint. But Jeff Wilson, Jordan Mason, Tyrion Davis-Price, Wilson should be the lead guy. It's just a matter of can he take hold of the job while Mitchell is out.
What did we glean, if anything, from that first game as it pertains to Trey Lance? Because it was on such a horrible playing surface in terrible weather conditions.
Yeah, bring an umbrella next time you go to Chicago, I guess. I think when you look at what the positive is, and there were very few of them, is the fact that he ran. And, 13 carries, 54 yards. That's something I think you could say, okay, maybe this is what's going to be the floor. And basically was his average last year. He appeared in 3 games where he played the majority of snaps. He averaged 53 rushing yards per game. So I think he needs to do that a little bit more just because that's what his game is, and especially now if the backfield's not going to be the same. But look, the weather conditions were terrible. George Kittle didn't play because of the groin injury. And so, they're trying to rework the interior of that offensive line. So give the Bears credit. They were able to contain Trey Lance. But I think next week's game sets up perfectly for him because he'll be at home. You have a Seahawks team that's going to be traveling after a Monday night game, so short week of preparation for them. So if he can't play well that week, we might be seeing Jimmy Garoppolo sooner rather than later.
All right, but you think it's going to be Jeff Wilson, the next man up, that might get the majority of the carries at running back for San Francisco. He's only rostered in about a fifth of leagues right now. What's your advice as you look to the running back waiver wire?
He's going to be the lead guy, especially if we find out that Najee Harris's injury is not as serious as it looked. And so Jaylen Warren and both Jeff Wilson will be the 2 most popular guys. I think if you're just taking a long-term approach, you might want to just obviously not spend all of your fab money on Jeff Wilson until we kind of see what's happening there. It's not like last year where Elijah Mitchell stepped in for Raheem Mostert in week 1, but he was coming off a 100-yard performance. Remember, Deebo Samuel is going to have a big role in this backfield. We know that. Trey Lance is a different quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo, so the running, the distribution of touches in the backfield is going to be different. But Jeff Wilson, what we've seen from Kyle Shanahan, he's been the head coach of the 49ers 5 seasons prior to this one, 5 different leading rushers. One of those guys was Jeff Wilson, so he has a trust factor in him. Again, the 2 other guys, Tyrion Davis-Price was a healthy scratch in the game against the Bears, and Jordan Mason is an undrafted rookie free agent. I think they'll get some touches, but I think Jeff Wilson will be the lead guy there. So you want to view him as probably a flex play for week 2 against Seattle, and then we'll see what happens moving forward. But he's going to be the most added player in CBSSports.com leagues for sure.
He is the mayor of Fantasyland. Jamey Eisenberg with us here on HQ. You can hear from him on Fantasy Football Today, the podcast, and the show live here on HQ each and every weekday at noon Eastern Time. Jamey joined by Dave Richard and Heath Cummings.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.